in the Hawks to deal with corruption in the distribution of food hampers. The department says it's receiving numerous complaints from the public and has handed over information on irregularities to the Hawks. It's further announced ward councillors will no longer be used to distribute food parcels to the vulnerable. The department is expected to establish a fraud hotline. Well, for more on this story, we cross now to our reporter, Reginald Witbooi, who's standing by for us in Kimberley. Thanks very much, Reginald, for joining us. Where are you and what are you doing?
Well, good afternoon to you, Nompu. We are here in Samaria, a relatively poor community here in the northern, here in Kimberley. It's former mine workers that are mainly living here in abject poverty with their families. So the Department of Social Development came out today to hand out food parcels to this community here in Kimberley. So early on, when we spoke to the spokesperson of the Northern Cape Department of Social Development, Hamim Abrams, he was telling us that they are working with the Hawks to investigate alleged theft and corruption when it comes to food parcels, because they've received numerous complaints from the public, and they are working with the Hawks to see that anyone who are making themselves guilty of theft and corruption in the province, whether it's someone from the public or ward councillors, the law must take its course. Now, I am now joined by Hamim again, because they came out to hand over about 400 food parcels to this community. Good afternoon to you, Hamim. Just once again, just tell us the criteria that you are using as a department for someone to get a food parcel. Just take us through that.
Well, Reginald, today in this informal settlement, where, like you said, it's mainly mine labourers that are settled in this settlement. Today we are solely concentrating on zero-income households, where there's absolutely no income, no form of a grant or anything for that matter, and where there's absolutely no food, to ensure that those households have food for the next 3 to 4 weeks. The criteria that the department mostly use is, like I mentioned now, the zero-income households. Then we have also our beneficiaries that would normally make use of our food nutrition centres. Those are drop-in centres, soup kitchens, where they have a database, people being serviced every day there. And to those beneficiaries, we've also provided food. And children that would normally be fed by a feeding scheme, or older persons that would belong to some sort of a social club funded by the Department of Social Development, those people are also prioritized as being the beneficiaries of these food parcels. And then lastly, we work with the indigent list as provided by the respective municipalities in the Northern Cape.
And then also, I asked you this question earlier on. The President announced last night that they are going to switch over to a technology-based system to distribute vouchers. Did your team meet to map out the way how that's going to happen?
Yes, Reginald, the head of department will convene with the executive managers today, and with cooperation from National Department, we'll receive the directives with our partners SASA and NDA as well. So those directives must still come down, but I'm sure on a national level they will advise as to how we're going to roll out this new system of ensuring that people have food security.
Just in terms of the food parcel itself, because I saw earlier on what's the contents of the food parcel. I saw flour, your oil, bleach. Just take us through that, please.
Yeah, those are the basic needs in a household. We have sufficient food for 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the size of the family. The food parcels was procured at an average cost of about 900 Rand per food parcel. So that should give you an indication that it is substantial. It contains all your basic food necessities that you would require to sustain yourself for at least one nutritious meal per day.
Just lastly, through this process, now that you've eliminated the ward councillors in this, is the process now flowing smoothly?
It's been flowing smoothly, Reginald, with we have with the assistance of the South African Police Services as well as the SANDF, as you can see. But that is just to ensure that officials can perform the distribution with relative ease and safety.
Thank you very much. Well, Nompu, that was the spokesperson for the Northern Cape Social Development Department here in the province, telling us about their mandate to distribute food parcels to the most vulnerable here in the province, also saying that they've eliminated ward councillors because they've received complaints by the public of alleged theft and corruption. That is now sitting with the Hawks. We know that last night President Cyril Ramaphosa also reiterated the fact that the law is going to take its course to anyone who's going to make him or herself guilty to deprive the most vulnerable from basic needs.
Indeed. Thanks very much, Reginald, for that report. My colleague there, Reginald Witbooi, reporting from Kimberley.